episode of Ask the Wizard, almost daily for August the 29th. August is just about over. Topic today has to do with a department store and why you're probably doing everything right. It's just you're looking for your desires in a place that you never find them. We're going to talk about how that works out, but we're also going to talk about where you can find them. All right, starting the 5-minute timer now. See you in 5. All right, grab a coffee, get comfortable. See you soon. Phil, how you doing, buddy? Haven't seen you for a long time. Thanks for tuning in. I'm just sitting here thinking, Phil, we've known each other for just this side of forever. The one thing I know both of us can attest to is life sure isn't dull. Is it? Holy smoke. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to Ask the Wizard, streaming live for August the 29th. What's new in your world? Been working on revising the website again. Actually, this is kind of cool because I'm giving it a makeover so it looks sort of like Netflix. Because I was thinking this too. Jeez, I'm thinking a lot today. It's kind of weird. No wonder I'm lightheaded. But the setup, you've seen pictures of it and different things like this, and you see what's going on the screen. And with the equipment I have, the software I have, the configurations I put into place, the bandwidth I have, I can do some pretty skookum stuff on it. And also, I did a one-on-one Ask the Wizard coaching last night. And I tell you, it works like it's solid and it's easy for everybody, for the person I was coaching to hear and to communicate, and it works really, really well. So if there is anybody that does want to do more live streaming, if they want to get their name out there, like an interview is a really good way of getting your name out there. So, and I do all the processing at this end. All I do is send you a link in your phone or your computer, whatever it works for you. And then I basically interview you. Which is I find it's a very effective way of getting your message out, as opposed to sitting in front of a camera, just going reading off a script or something like that. Neat thing about it is, we can broadcast it live, but of course then it's recorded, and then each sort of question and answer I can clip out for you. So now you've got all these shorter clips that you can post, anywhere you like, or if you do want to do something live and if you want to have it produced so you don't have to do any of the back end, I can do all the back end from here, and it doesn't matter where you're at, of course. I can produce it from this end and we can broadcast it live. So something to think about. And I've been doing video. You've heard me tell you this story before, but I've been doing video for long before, and streaming long before it was cool. I remember, probably 2009, 2010-ish, the meditations down at the downtown office, I decided to stream them live, actually in a platform called Blog Talk Radio. This would have been probably 2009. And boy, I had to do it was just audio. I had to do some crazy configuration and adding this and doing that, but I was able to broadcast them live. I have them actually recorded. Of course, the audio isn't what it is today. But I've been doing this for a long, long time, so I picked up an awful lot of skills along the way, and I'd be more than happy to share them with anybody who's looking to take some steps down this path or want to sort of enhance what they're already doing. All right, topic for today. I'm just going to hit record on my end. The topic for today, and this was inspired by a coaching session, online coaching session last night. So again, geometrics, you've heard me use that name a lot. That's the branding for the circles and the triangles and the geometry in many ways, or the most accurate way of explaining them as maps that I received, kind of like my version of the 10 Commandments, but there's a whole lot more of them now, that do a really effective job of taking so many of these concepts, taking life. Life can be pretty confusing at times to try and manage from a practical perspective and from a place of understanding rather than memorization. So many times we do what we do just because you're supposed to do it, but we don't really understand the mechanics of why we're doing it, the effect it's supposed to have, and then therefore how I can measure if I'm being effective or not. And that's one of the big ones is how do I measure? I read these books and I go to these courses and they say to do this and do that. And I got this kick-ass vision board and I got all this kind of stuff. But how do I know if it's working? Yes, if I see it manifest, then I know it's working. But that's the last step in the process. If you don't understand the mechanics of how the machine works, then the chances of a lot of your desires really manifesting as efficiently as they could and with the magnitude that they could is minimized. And so often it never gets there because you're looking for them on the wrong floor, which is what the topic of today's teaching session is. So we're going to bring in Mr. Flipchart, and here is Mr. Flipchart. Okay. Hold on. Just let me take this off. So I'm not clicking and clacking all over the place. Hold on. Okay. These are all floors in a department store. Okay, so first floor, second, third, and fourth, right? Now, in the department store, in this one, you can get furniture. Okay. Now, the furniture on this first floor, it's kind of broken and busted. So it's not really good. I mean, it's furniture, but it's not really good quality furniture. And then the second floor it's cheap furniture, but at least it's all in one piece. Okay. So it's still not very fancy furniture, but at least it's not busted and broken. And then you get up here. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with this. This is just a word that popped into my head. Whoops. Get back here. Okay. Stop. There. This is the IKEA furniture. Now, the IKEA furniture is nice. Nothing wrong with that. Okay. It's not the busted stuff. It's not, the stuff that's really cheap, but at least it's not busted. It's okay. And then I'm going to say this is, I must have a setting. I'm going to say this is designer furniture. This is fancy furniture. So in this department store, on the first floor is it's all furniture, right? The first floor is a broken and busted. On the second floor it's really cheap furniture, but at least it's not busted. On the third floor, it's again furniture, but it's IKEA furniture, which is, whatever. And then on the fourth floor is your designer furniture. Now, whoever stocks this place does a really, really good job because they don't mix anything up. They make sure that on the first floor, the only thing that's on the first floor is the broken and busted furniture. And they make sure the only thing on the second floor is still cheap furniture, but at least it's not broken. And the only thing on the third floor is IKEA. And the only thing on the fourth floor is designer. They never mix them up. Are you with me? Okay. So now that means that if where's you? This is you. Right, here you go. Now, if you happen to be on this first floor, you're not going to have to look very hard to find broken and busted furniture. Now, why don't you have to look very hard to find broken and busted furniture? Because that's what's on that floor. Right? I mean, if you're on the floor with broken and busted furniture, you don't have to try very hard. There it is. There it is. There it is. Right? But guess what? Try as you might, you're not going to find IKEA furniture. You're not going to find designer furniture. Why? Because it's not on that floor. Now, does it mean that designer furniture, IKEA furniture doesn't exist? Of course it exists. But it doesn't exist on the floor that you're on. So here's the thing. Before you watch this video, and you're understanding that in your reality, there are different floors. And the thing of it is with this stuff is there's all sorts of even mainstream science and philosophers and all this kind of stuff. They use all sorts of fancy words to describe this. I'm using a department store because it's really easy to understand and easier to navigate too. Because remember, understanding is powerful. If you're on that first floor, as far as you're concerned, designer furniture doesn't exist because everywhere you look, that's all you find is the broken and busted furniture. So what happens is when we don't understand there's these different floors we can visit, you might really, really, really want designer furniture. And like I said in the show notes, you've done everything right. You've set up a kick-ass vision board. You did your affirmations. You're taking inspired actions. You're persevering. You're doing all the right things. And you still can't find designer furniture. And you go, what's wrong with me? Well, there's nothing wrong with you. You're just looking for designer furniture on the floor that doesn't have designer furniture. If you want to find designer furniture, the first thing you have to do is get to the floor that has designer furniture. But you see, we forget that there are different levels or different perspectives, we could say, but in a very real way. And I just use this as an example. There are 4 floors of flavorings of your experience. And you get to decide, because not only on the first floor is broken, but I just kind of cherry pick that, but not only on the first floor is broken and busted furniture, on the first floor is broken and busted finances, broken and busted body, broken and busted on and on and on and on, right? Because that floor doesn't have any good stuff. It's only got, broken down shit. Have you ever noticed this? Have you ever noticed this, that so often it's not like just one thing, it's like everything is either going really well or everything is going really, really bad. And if you notice that when we're kind of stuck in, and I'm being a bit extreme here, when we're stuck in that really, really bad, it's like you can remember what really, really good sort of kind of felt like, but it's like it's a memory and it's like it doesn't exist anymore. It's like it almost many respects, it never did exist, which interestingly enough is exactly true. Now, there's all sorts of understandings behind these levels or these levels of reality, but just go with it for now, right? Because we've all experienced this. Because when we get stuck on this floor, it's really easy to look at what's on the second and the third and the fourth floor. And it was like it was a dream. Hey, Les, how you doing, buddy? It's like it was a dream. It's like it almost never existed. You can remember back to it, but it doesn't feel like it even really happened. And when you're on this floor, the reason it feels that way is because it didn't. Those experiences only happen up here. And again, to spare kind of the mechanics behind how these floors, the structure of them, just use your own experience, right? And kind of trust me on this piece, but use the flavor of your own experience. Because if you notice, your life tends to go in themes. It tends to be that pretty much everything is, and I'm being extreme with this word, but it's like everything is going good or everything is going bad, right? Or things will be going really good in your life experience in one aspect of it, and then you somehow lose it. And again, you're doing all the right things and you're being diligent, but it's like, where is that version of me? It's almost like it's a different version of me when you remember back to that aspect of your life that was when it was rocking and rolling really, really good. It almost feels like it happened to a different person, like it never really existed. And in a very real way, the reason it feels that way is because it's true, is because the version of yourself that is here and the version of yourself that is here, in many respects, are like, for our purposes here, like two different people. And we've often experienced this. I feel like I'm a different person, right? It feels like that really good thing that happened to me almost didn't happen to me. It's like it never happened. And when we find ourselves stuck on this floor, that's very, very accurate. Because the version of you, and just stick with me on this, the version of you that experienced that really, really good experience is up here, not down here. I mean, how many times do you feel, you probably said it, I know you have, you said, I don't feel like myself today, or things like that. And we don't realize how accurate, mechanically accurate we are when we say those things. If you're kind of trying to wrap your head around, I can kind of have these multiple versions of myself or multiple personalities, you can put it that way. It's happened to you countless times, and it sure as hell has happened to people that you know, acquaintances, whatever, right? Have you ever noticed how they can be like one person one day, and then something happens, something is triggered, or a certain event happens, and it's almost like they become a different person, like their personality shifts and changes, right? I know you've had that happen to you. I know you have had that happen to you. It's happened to me, and I know you've seen it in other people around you. Why? Because they're shifting in a very real way between different versions of themselves. So why is it that you want the designer furniture, which is perfectly fine, and you're doing everything right, which is good for you, but for some reason, you can't find it in your external world? Why is that? It's because you're looking here and trying to find this here. Okay, so what's this? I'm here and I'm wherever. What the hell is this? Okay, I'm going to tell you. This is you, and this is your external experience, correct? Okay, I'm going to flip to another screen. Hold on. This is you, and you'll often see me do this. Here I am, your soul, your spirit, your higher self, right? This is your external experience, right? Experience of your five senses. This is your thoughts, right? Your thought processes when we're remembering something, when we're visualizing, when we're speculating into the future. That all takes place here. And in here is this. Your good old physical body. And your good old physical body is where you feel this. It's where you feel emotions. Now, I talk about this a lot, and this is so important to understand what emotions really are and how we can manage them and use them to navigate between the different floors. Because how do you get from floor to floor? You do it with your emotions. Now, to say that more accurately, an emotion is a set of vibrations or sensations you feel in your body. So how you navigate between these floors is by changing the vibrations in your body. Yes, we could call it changing the emotion. Yes, we could call it changing your mood. But those words sometimes have all sorts of crazy-ass connotations to them. So let's break it down to mechanics. You feel an emotion. Right? You don't think an emotion, you don't see an emotion, you don't smell an emotion. You feel an emotion in your body. And an emotion that we call good or positive, we call it that because it physically feels good. An emotion that we call bad or negative, we call it that because it physically feels bad. All right? So there's your external circumstances. There's the thoughts, the stories you tell about the external circumstances, your thinking processes, again, memories, speculation in the future, all this kind of stuff. There's your body, and then there's you, your soul or your spirit, higher self. Again, pick your label. Okay, so going back to here. So this is your body. Now, depending on the sort of the flavoring of the sensations in your body. So I'm not going to use the word emotion, right? The flavoring of the sensations in your body, they tell you what floor you're on. Isn't this cool? Okay, stick with me here. And when you start to practice this, it's going to freak you out, man. So I'm going to go down here. I'm going to say bad. I'm just going to use these words. So they don't feel good. The sensations in your body don't feel good. And then as you whoa, more coffee. As you move up, right? As you move up, they feel good, right? So we could say better. I'm just making up words here, right? All right, let's do this. We'll do this, and we'll do this. All right, so when you're down here, they suck. The sensations don't feel good. As you move up this little elevator, they feel better and better and better and better, all the way up to here. So here's your external experience, and you may like it, you may not like it, right? It's a broken furniture, or it's old rent-free, or designer furniture, right? Whatever that may be. Then there's the sensations that you feel. The sensations that you feel, as well as what you see, but now for our purposes here, more importantly, the sensations that you feel tell you what floor you're on. So the better you feel, the higher the floor is that you're on. The worse you feel, the worse that the floor that you're on. So what we have a tendency to do is we're working away, doing all this stuff, those vision boards and all that kind of stuff. We don't see it happening out here. And then we use what's out here to actually calibrate how our body feels. Okay, let's go back to the other one. So you get the information out here, and it's the broken and busted furniture. It comes back through here, and it causes your body to vibrate, or causes you to feel emotions, right, that don't feel good. And I get it. I get it why it's so simple to slip into this. So then what happens is we go, if I change this, it'll change this. And that is correct when you're allowing your external circumstances, the crappy furniture, to dictate how you're going to feel. That's what most of the human population does. They choose to allow whatever is going on in their external world to dictate how they feel, the emotions they feel, the sensations that they feel in the body. What I'm about to share with you is probably the most challenging work you'll ever do, but it's the best work you'll ever do, because what you're going to do is you're going to turn the tables on that process. And instead of this, let's do this. Put this back. There we go. Instead of this, you're actually going to do this. Okay, see how this works? So, and for those of you that are listening on the podcast, so your external world, your five senses world determine how you feel. And now what I'm drawing on the picture is, rather than using your external circumstances, what I want you to do is work with your mind, work with your thoughts, and use them to influence and alter the vibrations in your body, to use them to change the way you feel, to change the vibrations in your body so that you feel better, or at least a little less worse. Now, in order to do this, it's going to require you to essentially be a little bit nuts. Because we've been programmed that whatever the stimulus is in your five senses world is true, is accurate, is all there is, and that it determines how you're going to feel. So then very logically, if you want to feel better, you need to change your external circumstances. Now, so then we go one step further. We go, okay, I manifest my own reality. So I have these desires. I have the vision board. I'm doing my visualizing. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually influence or alter my external circumstances, which is fine. But so often we're trying to do that from the wrong vibrational floor. Because if you're on floor 1, and you're trying to use this process to manifest your designer furniture, it won't work. Why? Because they don't have designer furniture on that floor. But you're going to want to. And so when you think about it, if you look at it in this scenario, I mean, that's stupid, right? Of course. Why would I look for designer furniture in the crappy furniture floor? Why do I waste my time? But that's what we do, mostly because we don't understand these processes. So the first thing you need to do is, if you're looking for designer furniture, is you need to move closer at least to the floor that actually has the designer furniture on it. How do you do that? You use what I call your non-physical. You use your thoughts. You use your visualization. You use your sort of your daydreams. Or And you also use your external circumstances, but what you do in your external circumstances is anything that will cause you to feel good or at least a little less worse. So we're going to primarily use our thoughts because you have complete control over your thoughts, even though it doesn't feel that way. I get that. And you can use your physical as well, right? My good old thing, coffee, right? If it feels good to drink coffee, then drink coffee. And you go, but I'm just doing something to feel good, but I'm trying to manifest all this fancy furniture. I'm just again using that as an example. Yes, but in order to manifest the fancy furniture, you got to get to the floor that has the fancy furniture on it. And in order to do that, you need to change the vibrations in your body from ones that feel bad to ones that feel better. So I don't care how you do it. Non-physically, again, daydreams, fantasizing, visualizing, all that kind of stuff. And anything you can use in your physical to cause you to feel better, to raise a vibration in your body. Because as you raise a vibration in your body, you start to move from the bent, broken, and busted up to the cheap and in one piece, up to IKEA, up to designer. And then, even though the manifesting steps you're doing are exactly the same, all of a sudden you start seeing this designer furniture. And then you go, wow, I guess what I was doing finally worked. Well, yeah, but why it finally worked was because you allowed or caused your vibration to raise, to increase higher and higher and higher. And then all of a sudden you go, oh, wow. Wow, look, designer furniture, designer furniture, designer furniture, designer furniture. Where was it before? It's always been there. It's just you weren't on the right floor. See, we think that the desire is lost. No, you are. Desire isn't lost. It's there waiting for you. It's your job, and it's work, to manage the frequencies in your body, i.e. your mood, i.e. your emotions, to go from, again, feeling bad to feeling good, or at least a little less worse. Because as you do that, your desires are waiting for you. We just need to get to the right floor to find them. And then, of course, as I said, just like with the first floor, not only is this particular desire now just smoking hot, this is exactly what I wanted, but guess what? The whole flavoring of your experience is now designer furniture flavoring because you're on the floor that has good stuff. The first floor didn't have good stuff. Any of it wasn't good, or all of it wasn't good. In the fourth floor, everything is good. For no other reason. Easier said than done, I get it. But you chose to become a little bit crazy and ignore what your physical world is telling you is true, even though you know it is on that floor. But you don't have to be stuck on that floor. So your physical circumstances, I'm not saying they're not real at all. Of course they're real, 100%. But what I'm saying is there's also different flavorings of that external experience that are just as real. You just need to access them. Neville Goddard, I was listening to him yesterday, recording because he's gone now, left his body. He talked about how we go through different states in our life. And he uses a term like villages, right? There's these different villages that we go to. And we are essentially eternal. So we're just visiting these different villages. They're all there. We just get to choose the ones that we want to visit. So in a really crazy, cool way, as soon as you have the desire, it exists. The manifestation of the theme of the desire exists. It's just on one of these upper floors. So then, yeah, you keep doing your visualizing, you keep, enjoying your vision board and all that kind of stuff. But that's really supplementary to changing your vibrations. My hashtag, I want to feel good, or I add on to that, or a little less worse, is so, so powerful. You change the vibrations in your body. That set point raises and it goes up from the first to second, the third, and the fourth floor where all the designer furniture is. And then all of a sudden, everything you're doing starts to work, and even better, because you've changed. The floors have always been there. They haven't changed. You have. Which fits with, I did an Ask the Wizard After Dark a few days ago about sort of where it was like we reincarnate, if you will, many times. We have many lifetimes in one lifetime sort of thing. It's like we become different versions of ourselves several times over throughout our experience here on this earth. And in so many respects, that process of evolving is being okay with this current version of who we are dying, if you will, so that a new one can be reborn, which is really, really powerful stuff. All right, guys, that was really good. Thanks for tuning in. Let me think. Share. We're all in this together. Ask the Wizard, all the broadcasts, almost all of them, are streaming live, simulcast. So they're on Facebook, simulcast on YouTube and Twitch. Strip the audio, upload it to anchor.fm, or the one you're more familiar with, Spotify. On Spotify, search for Ask the Wizard Coach. You will find me. All right. Ask the Wizard Zoom coaching sessions by donation, always available. Just message me and we can set something up. I think we are good. All right, guys. See you on the web.